What's cooking, Gumbo Nation? You're listening to Mortgage Gumbo with Dwayne Steiner right here on iHeartRadio. And I'm your host, Dwayne Steiner, the Gulf South Mortgage Authority. And this is your home show where for 11 plus years, more than a decade, wow, we've been providing education and options on what is or will be your largest investment and most valuable asset, your home. If you're new to the show, welcome to the Gumbo Nation. And thanks to you, Gumbo Nation, I am your nationally and locally recognized top lender out there. Love helping you save money. Love bringing you all this awesome information now for 11 plus years. If you want to join the show, 504-260-0995, or you can shoot an email to info@gumbo.com. So on the show today, it happened. We figured it was going to happen. We're going to talk a little bit about the government shutdown. What does it mean? I'll break that down for you. Home buying, appreciation. Wouldn't it be great in life if you could sort of have a crystal ball on what's going to happen, right? Well, we're going to kind of give you what a bunch of the experts are predicting and give you a crystal ball into the future of home appreciation. And is fall a better time to buy, especially this fall, versus what you can expect coming next spring? We've talked about this in the past, but I'll kind of give you some reasons why, sort of the pros and cons of going, you know what, if I'm able to, maybe I should look at buying now. So we'll break that down as well. And then I'll bring receipts. It's the only way I know how to do it. I bring receipts based on August closings, what we're seeing. And we're going to talk about why. Why maybe fall should be better than waiting for spring. So we've got data, and we'll bring receipts. And, hey, get your questions in info@mortgagegumbo.com. We'll get those answered as well. Home away from the show, mortgagegumbo.com. That's mortgagegumbo.com. I'm a home wealth advisor, manager. Here to help you out. We've got the Total Home Authority as well. All right, that's the do's
Tell
and
them what
don'ts.
you are, Dwayne.
I'm a lender. I am a lender, without a doubt. Thank you, Dave. Appreciate that. And that kind of goes with what I want to say first. And it's hard to believe, just wrapped up the third quarter. I mean, we're now closing loans and getting contracts where some folks' first payment won't be till January. Can you imagine that? Their first payment's going to be January of 2026. It's crazy, but we just wrapped up the third quarter, and Gumbo Nation, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. You're getting the message out there. We're getting the message out there, not just recognized nationally, but also locally as a top lender, as somebody who's bringing that education, giving you the best loan options out there. We're coming off our best third quarter since 2022. So, look, while others are faltering, and you read it and see, because of you, Gumbo Nation, and I thank you for it. I thank you for your trust. I thank you for your confidence, helping more and more mom, dad, aunt, uncle, cousins, grandma, grandpa told me to give you a shout more and more, and that's because of you. So, and that's why we do this. So, again, coming off our best third quarter since 2022. And that's kind of when everything started to go to heck in a handbasket quick back then. So thank you again, Gumbo Nation. So a lot going on. A lot going on. And this government shutdown for us, and we can, kind of get, heck, we'll get into it right now. I mean, it's my show, right? We can, I can do what I want from that standpoint. And, you know, what does it mean? What does the government shutdown mean? And look, for most of you, every day, folks, not really going to have, if you're not in the housing market, then it's a, oh, well, right? You're sitting back, you're laughing at me. It's comical, it's baffling to me um, on just the polarization, the such disdain between two parties is it's crazy. And so hey, you'll have maybe some parks closed, some um, maybe libraries, different things like that are sponsored or paid for. Hey, game wardens, folks like that. Got several calls this week. Hey, you think I'll still get my Social Security check, stuff like that? Yes, that kind of stuff should not be affected. Had several people call going, hey, do I have to make my payment? Come on, let's go. We're 2 days in, right? Yes, you have to make your payment. And unless you're in one of these jobs that are furloughed, chances are you're going to have to make your payment anyway. But, I think it's going to affect things like the IRS. I'll have to get with my CPA, Mr. Jude Heath, find out, because I'm always late to the party. Always late to the party when it comes to filing. Just because I am in the same boat as most folks who feel like Uncle Sam gets enough, and I'm not in a rush to give Uncle Sam any more than I have to, right? But when you're looking at it, let's kind of, from services standpoint, when you kind of flip over to loans, HUD's open. And that means your FHA loans. Now, some of your VA stuff and the data that we need to get, that stuff, to be honest with you, has been slower than normal anyway, just simply because of the cutbacks. So the biggest thing, and 21% of our homeowners in number one in the nation require flood insurance. And new policies through FEMA, through the National Flood Program right now, or being suspended. So what that means is Louisiana's 21, Florida's 18. That's just kind of a sidebar. Now, most people assume other folks' flood insurances, right? So that's fine. If you got to make a claim, that would be paid. But if you've got to get new, it'd be like if a storm was in the Gulf, right? They're not going to bind that policy. But a lot of carriers now, in TWFG and the Queen of Insurance, we work with, a lot of times now we're not even going through FEMA anymore. We're able to get a cheaper price through private flood insurance. And I would encourage you, if you're listening right now and you're like, hey, I wonder if I should check into that, right? Go to my website, click on resources, go over to TWFG, or give them a call, 985-951-2070. Ask them about, hey, can I qualify for private flood insurance that's cheaper? Or ask your carrier. So maybe some options there. But what's frustrating about this for me is, man, we're building this momentum, right? We've been having it the last couple months, really, and we've been talking about it, how we don't need the federal government to see mortgage rates go down. And we've seen that because the second Powell came out and spoke, and then they go on their parade last week. We saw rates inch up a little bit. And it's crazy how quickly it closes the siphon, which is going to lead to some other stuff that we're going to talk about later on, why there's so much opportunity right now, and it's kind of right before the dam breaks, so to speak. But, you got last thing I saw was 750,000 federal employees will be furloughed. Yet these idiots in Congress will still get their paychecks. That's what's frustrating to me. That's what's amazing to me. But what we want, and the reason why we want it open is ADP came out on Wednesday, they brought out their report, and the BLS was supposed to come out yesterday. ADP came out, and hey, in August, it was down 32,000, a negative 32,000 jobs. And after previous adjustments was down even more than that. We were expecting the BLS report to show jobs down. And to me, that data is what will get and keep and continue to have the momentum. We don't want it raining on our parade. We've been waiting years. It's like you schedule that outdoor wedding or you got an event planned. You don't want rain on that day outside, and we don't want that. Because if we get this report, maybe, just maybe, before the Fed meets their October meeting, and yes, they're expected to still meet. Got some of those questions. Hey, maybe the bet markets are maybe it'll go to 50 basis points over 25. That's the kind of relief you and I, that's what we're looking for. That's what we want. That's where you're going to start seeing some impact on your credit cards and those lower payments. Because, again, the federal funds rate is the overnight rate. That is what the banks are using to lend to each other. And those are the things where your private companies, your small businesses, they need that because they can't afford to bring in new stock or hire folks if they've got to borrow money at such a high rate. It's not worth it to them. That's why this is so much more important for that small guy that you drive by, that local business. Because it's unaffordable for them to go be able to borrow because of what the banks are charging. So then that relays down to you. So right now, the government shutdown, as of right now, is having minimal impact. It's a circus. It's a joke. And you don't know what to believe. I don't know why. Whatever this clear CR, continuing resolution, that was passed back in March, I don't know why it comes back up. I don't care. What I need is folks that it's just proof. And we elect these folks. And at some point at the box, at the ballot box, whatever, the push button, whatever you're doing, the hanging chads, we've got to, you have a say-so over this. But it is really out of control. And it's scary, to be honest. It's very, very scary. And when I saw that Congress is still getting paid, these folks are still getting paid, yet they're furloughing these people. Look, I got to fly in 2 weeks. I got to go to an event. I don't like hearing that TSA is working but not getting paid. Dave, I don't like that, bro. I don't like the old, I'll hook you up later, but still come in. I don't need that dude upset when somebody's throwing their luggage through the security.
Right.
I mean, I just, personally speaking.
I got nothing, dude. I mean, It always happens. I mean, which shutdown is this? Like number 320
Yeah,
at
I
this
mean
point,
it's always the threats. The last one was in 2018, and it went 35 days, and it starts going a couple weeks. But we'll see. We'll see. It's just, but overall, right now, you're not really having major effects outside of if you had a little camping trip, maybe to a national park or something like that. Then those are gonna, to my understanding, are gonna be closed. Parks are gonna be closed. But checks.
I remember the 2018 one too because a partner of mine was actually working. He was working for a computer company, but they were given grants by the government, so technically they were government employees,
Right.
and so a lot of them went on furlough. That was that 35-day one where they were actually. He was going and getting free lunches from people because they were actually giving free lunches away to anybody who had been furloughed. But yeah, I mean that one hit pretty hard, man. It hit a lot of people.
Yeah, dude, I mean, look, at the end of the day, a majority of people live at paycheck to paycheck. And like you said, when they're government contractors, stuff like that, it's a big deal. And I think, unfortunately, too, what it's going to do is, or not unfortunately, maybe fortunately, I mean, unfortunate for some, it's going to put a big spotlight on maybe, how you're classified essential versus non essential. I think, unfortunately, it's going to put a spotlight on some of these folks, and who knows what's going to happen there. So, we'll keep you posted as things go, but just wanted to kind of give you an update. Look, at Mortgage Gumbo, it's all systems go. We're rocking and rolling, still getting stuff done. And, again, just want to say thank you, Gumbo Nation. You're absolute rock stars. I appreciate the trust. Keep referring you folks over to buy, refinance, reverse mortgages. You name it, we can help you. Construction, we've got it for you. So don't go anywhere. On the other side of the break, we're going to get into Rate Watch, and we got a great show. Hey, should this fall maybe be why you should be considering versus waiting for spring? We got some receipts. We'll bring that. And, hey, got a great question over. We'll get that answered as well. You're listening to Mortgage Gumbo with Dwayne Stein right here on iHeartRadio, 504-260-0995. What is up, social media? Hey, just got a great question over. We're going to be answering. So stick around. Don't go anywhere. Question is, they want to know the difference between buying a condo and a single-family residence. That's a great, great question because there is a big difference. Big difference when it comes to buying power. So we're going to break that down. We'll explain that on the other side of the break. So stick around. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back shortly. Welcome back. You're listening to Mortgage Gumbo with Dwayne Stein right here on iHeartRadio. Hey, you got a question? Give us a call, 504-260-0995. or shoot an email to info@mortgagegumbo.com. Be out who dat tomorrow. Hopefully, get on the win side.
We're favored tomorrow.
We're favored
tomorrow.
I saw that.
Crazy.
I was really hoping, to be honest, when I saw the Giants. I knew Buffalo. That was not, but hey, they fought well. When I saw the Giants, I'm like, all right, Russell Wilson's going to stink it up, and then thinking Jackson Dart will be a starter his first week this week, but he got it last week, and he's coming in with confidence. So I don't like that for sure, So, all right, got a great question here. Can you explain the difference between buying a condo versus a regular home, or assuming they mean a single-family home? Look, when I'm doing my pre-approvals and we're giving buying power, I will always ask, are you looking for single-family or are you looking at condo, townhouse? Here's the reason why. Number one, condos have dues. And depending on where you're living, some single families, like on the North Shore, you'll have homeowners associations and stuff. But if you're pre-approved for $250,000, say to buy a single-family residence, and you go look at a $250,000 condo, there's a huge difference there. Number one being, a lot of time condo dues are elevated. And the condo dues will include things like water, trash pickup, sewerage. But guess what? We don't count that in your ratios anyway. So you may have a condo due that'll include your electric bill, like I said, water, stuff like that. Maybe the outside of your complex. So you'll get a little relief by getting an HO6 versus an HO3 policy there. But you got to keep in mind, that's why it's the condo association dues that are a huge difference maker. So $250 pre-approved for a single-family residence is nowhere near the same as $250 for a condo. Nowhere near. So keep that in mind. And the other thing will be also is condos, believe it or not all of them are ran efficiently. Maybe they've got some of these management companies, and if they don't have enough in reserves and different things like that, when we're getting them approved, you're protected because we've got to do an approval. But if they don't have enough in reserves, then sometimes you may have to come up with more down payment than you were thinking. So we don't have to use that part. There's a short form and a long form when you're doing a condo approval. So the more data we got to get, the more they got to prove. Sometimes if they can't provide that or unwilling to provide that, you may have to come up with more down payment. So there's a lot to be looked at when it comes down to a condo versus I know you go, hey, well, good, I don't have to cut grass, I don't have to do all that. That's awesome. But let's just, when we're talking and we're looking at your pre-approval and it's something you considered, let's discuss that. Let's have a chat on that because it's a big difference. So that is a great question by Jan. So good stuff there. All right, let's get into our weekly segment we like to call Rate Watch. So 30-year conventional, 6.34. Last week we're at 6.38. 15s, 5.84 was at 5.94. FHA, 6.03. Jumbo, 6.25. VA, 6.05. 10-year, 4.095. That's what we're watching. So rates kind of all stayed in place. However, they're up from, they're up from 3 weeks ago. But, right, all in that number. But what is so crazy is tenths of a percent, and this is why, again, it's so important to not read just headlines. Because a month ago, we're talking about refis are up, applications are up 70%, blah, blah, blah. And a lot of that is misleading because a refi, they're considering those, HELOC loans as refis, right? I look at a refi and go, hey, is it a home equity loan? Meaning, are we paying off debt or, so second mortgages, they're adding those as refis. So that was up. Well, it's funny because now applications are down 20-something%, right, year over year. So it's just all over the place. And for those who are trying to time the market, I cannot say it enough. It's impossible. And during Gregory's show last week, man, it's why he's a Hall of Fame financial advisor and just a legend. But, he said something that he verbally said something that we know, but he kind of said it out loud when you think about, like, this country and the benefits of living in this country compared to anywhere else is that it allows you to buy its land. And then not only when you buy its land, it allows you to profit from it. It allows it to go up in value. That is one-offs, blah, blah, blah. But that is why trying to time the market, it's impossible. It's impossible. And, for me, the reason I don't have hair anymore, used to have a ton of it, is because I take this serious. I take it with a passion. I'm watching these things all day, every day, seeing what's going on, trying to read the tea leaves or see the forest through the trees, so to speak. So when you come and you work with me and you're trusting me with your refinance or your purchase, I could advise you on, hey, here's why we're going to lock in. Because the pain of the rate going up is always worse than the euphoria of it going down. And I could see sort of what's going to happen. And we have those conversations. And a lot of folks, hey, I'm going to wait. And I get it. And I understand. But we're seeing proof on waiting, what it does. And we saw it in August. We had an incredible August here at Mortgage Gumbo. And closings were up, purchases were up over 4%, up 3.5% year over year. So because I keep everything, I'm a hoarder to financial data, I went back and looked from our rate watches in August of 2024. And last year, our average rate in 2024 on a conventional loan was 6.48. This year, it's 6.55. So, you're talking less than 10 basis points off. Yet, home sales are up. And what that's telling me is there's pent-up demand. And what that should mean when you hear pent-up demand for those who's trying to time the market and I'm going to wait, competition is going to build. I'm seeing it already, Gumbo Nation. That's why I love doing this show, because I could come tell you I have the playbook. I'm able to advise folks. Had a conversation with someone this week. The house was on the market, $275 for 4 days. I'm going to offer him $250. What do you think? Like, what's your agent say? The agent said, yeah, let's make the offer. I'm like, okay. I'm not going to go against the realtor. Now, if me and the realtor have a conversation, it's different. My job's to provide education and options. But in my mind, I'm like, they won't even get a response. She called back 2 days later. I'm like, how did that go? We haven't heard back. And then you go look at the listing, and it's already pending because the house was priced right, and it was an insulting offer. Folks, this is not a flea market when you're buying a house. It's not going down to the French Quarter with 3 cheap shirts for $10, and you go, hey, come on, give me another one. Throw it in there. That's just not how home buying works. And I get it, the frustration sitting on the sideline. All these TikToks, all these things everybody's reading, this, that, and the other, and thinking, oh, well, prices are up. Headlines, home appreciation's not as high as it used to be. Yet median home prices are still on the rise. Delistings are at all-time highs because people are watching just like you. The sellers are watching too. And they're not just going to give their property away. So let's have those good conversations. Let's discuss how we can win. So you make a $250,000 offer on $275,000. It's a difference. It was a difference of $104 a month. You lost out on a house that was going to be down the street from your kids. I don't know what to tell you. And every loan you're doing right now, it's temporary. But why you can't time the market and the opportunity to buy land in this amazing country that can grow for you and create wealth, you got to try and take advantage of it. So we're going to talk about why buying in the fall still to come on the other side versus waiting for the spring. Don't go anywhere. You're listening to Mortgage Gumbo with Dwayne Stein. I am a lender, and that's thanks to you, one of the top lenders in the country and locally. Don't go anywhere. When we come back, we're going to talk about, hey, should you be buying in the fall versus waiting for the spring? And seniors, I got some numbers for y'all, you baby boomers, you suckers, you. 504-260-0995. Great tune. Welcome back. You're listening to Mortgage Gumbo with Dwayne Stein. Glad to have you with us. Hey, home away from the show is mortgagegumbo.com. That's mortgagegumbo.com for all my trollers out there. Or you could shoot an email to info@mortgagegumbo.com. Seniors, listen to some of these stats. And the reason I bring this up is you've been affected big time. And I see it in the amount of reverse mortgage conversations that I'm having. And while reverse mortgages may not be for everyone listening, brothers, sisters, aunts, uncles, maybe it's worth us having a conversation about mom and dad or grandma and grandpa to see if there's any benefits for them. 54% of seniors own a home. Baby boomer generation. 3/4 of that, so 75% have zero mortgage. And I'm with you. Wear it like a badge of honor. But with cost, medicines, all those things going up, what is that burden on the family? You know, when it's only Social Security. And again, I'm not saying for everyone. But a lot of folks, when I have and I meet with some of the Gumbo Nation and we have these discussions, they're amazed at how much money I could get them. And you see the relief. Maybe some of y'all who own that home free and clear but want to get moved by family. Maybe, you know, Brother Joe and Sister Sally want to get mom and dad closer. Had this conversation about 2 weeks ago. Look, we're just going to buy a house. We're going to pay for it, let mom sell it, and let mom live in it. Okay. Or we could do this. And they like, you got to be kidding me. I'm like, yeah, how about you save $150,000 of your money, bring them in from out of town, let them live there, use that equity in the home from another state, have no mortgage, and you win. Yeah, if you're trying to pick up properties and all that, that's different, but let's have that conversation. So, seniors, you've got a lot of money, a lot. And we're going to have a reverse mortgage show coming up in a couple weeks, and we'll talk more about this. But there's options out there if you're struggling and, you know, that money's not going as far because of Social Security and because of, you know, just the different costs that you have now, it doesn't go as far. And I get it. You're sitting on that home, but that home's got a lot of equity, and you've worked hard for that home. And maybe there's some options for us to show you to get that home to work for you. And, hey, you may want a lump sum. Closed one a couple months back. $100,000 line of credit. Making 6%. Just banking it. Using that house that they work so hard for them. So they can enjoy life now. Getting rid of that mortgage if you do have a mortgage. No more payments. And it's hard to understand the concept of the reverse mortgage. Because the first thing people, I don't want, you're going to take my house. No, we don't. No, we don't. No, we don't. And we're able, when we sit down, I'm able to show you so many reasons and proof of why that's such a myth. But we could help you. We do private reverse mortgages here at Mortgage Gumbo. It's amazing. Sometimes these, it's backed by FHA. Sometimes they get a little too sticky. hey, great. We have outlets to do them ourselves and give you more money. So we could look at what all those different options are for you. So for you seniors who are, you know, maybe things as costs go up and things are getting a little strapped, maybe let's have a conversation about what that house that you've worked so hard for, maybe we could have a little bit of a conversation about that. Going through here. Let's talk about real quick. Let's get into a little bit of a crystal ball here. And everybody would love to have a crystal ball, right? If you knew what was going to happen. So, home price expectation survey results. This is all the big shots, all the big wigs. All right. This came out. Fannie Mae put this out this week. They're expecting home price appreciation in 2026 to go up 2.4%. I mean, you hear that, and the folks who bought in 20 and 21 when it was going up 19 and 20%, oh my gosh, yeah, well, your 5-year cumulative average is almost 50%. But if we look into our crystal ball here, what they're saying is the next 5 years cumulative, you're going to gain anywhere between 16 and 18% in home appreciation. That's compounding. That is huge. Go to your financial advisor and say, can you guarantee me 16% return over the next 5 years? Who wouldn't take that? And why do you think those returns are going to happen? Because do you think they're expecting home prices to go down? Or do you think they're expecting home prices to go up? That's right, correct answer. It's going to appreciate. That's why you're going to get a cumulative. That's why home price expectations up. So that's why trying to time the market. Look, if at this time it's not a good time to buy, I'm good with that. But are you sure? Are you aware? Do you know? Maybe you go, hey, you know what? Now, I've had people tell me this. I can't find nothing in that price range. All right, well, at least you know what your price range is now. So if you find something, you can jump on it. Or got a guy had a conversation yesterday. Just found out, hey, he's retiring, what his number's going to be. He's going to wait for that to come through. We're going to chat again in March. I get it. He'll feel a little bit more comfortable knowing once he's set in his ways. Okay. But do you know? So home price expectations over the next 5 years, up 16%. That means it's a good investment, folks. A good investment. And why you want to get in, buy the dip, right? Buy the dip. That's why on the other side of the break we're going to talk about is fall. Maybe this is your last little shot at a dip. Don't go anywhere. You're listening to Mortgage Gumbo right here on iHeartRadio. 504-260-0995. And the home away from the show is mortgagegumbo.com. Man, are low riders cool anymore, Dave? I mean, do you see them
I
around?
don't know.
I think it's
Now that I think
opposite
about it,
now.
no one's ever asked me that question,
Hey,
Dwayne.
see, I got to keep you on your toes. Now I think it's more. I see stuff jacked up that you almost need like a pulley system to get up into it with lifts and
Well,
all that
that
stuff.
and the lights underneath the car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which
that
look, if I wasn't 54, the Xiaomen in me is like, I want that, but I don't. You know, you know what I mean?
I appreciate the honesty.
Yeah,
Dwayne.
I mean, look, Captain Charlie
keeping it
Thompson,
real,
Bayou
bro.
Charters. Look, that dude. My old Mercury Monarch I got from my Bebop with the wrecked door. Man, he hooked me up with an audio Vox from Western Auto.
Ooh,
And I thought it was so cool because the dial turned blue when it turned on. I mean,
nice.
now it does all. Now these things do everything. But
It's fancy.
yeah, man,
That was the height of technology back
that
then.
was dude. We were jamming with my 6x9s in there, rattling. Oh boy. But I could do that, Dave, because I was knocking down $3.35 an hour at Wendy's.
Oh, score big bucks,
Right?
no whammies.
I was knocking it out there, and never forget, manager brought me in, man, and I think I've told a story. If anybody wants to use this joke, why are Wendy's hamburgers square? And the answer is because we don't cut corners. And another trivia question could be the life of a French fry, 7 minutes, but I'll never forget, man, $3.35 an hour was minimum wage, and brought me in and said, man, we're going to bump you to $3.40 an hour. And
Ooh,
and I
nice.
went home, was all excited, and sat down because you didn't have phones back then to calculate how much money that was going to be. So when I realized I had to work another 20 hours that week to make $1 for that nickel raise, you know what I'm saying?
Hey, you got
But
to take what you can get.
You
man.
take what you could get, man. You know what I'm saying? And then got promoted to where I just did drinks. If you can imagine, that was a promotion over being
yeah.
a fry guy. All right, let's get into look with fall and why this fall in particular may be a good opportunity for you. And let's kind of look. The cons could be, and if you've been hearing what we've been talking about, that inventory's up. One of the cons they kind of talk about in the fall is, bad weather. That's probably for up north. We're not exactly dealing with snow and sleet and all that down here, although we did last year. But, lower inventory, allegedly, so not as much options. But what I want to talk about is, and what I see as opportunity is, based on all the data, we're going to continue to see rate cuts, and mortgages are going to continue to go down. Finally. Right? It's not going to be a free fall. Like we said, it's a roller coaster ride. But we've been charting through this sea, and there's a couple times we've had, what we thought was land ahead, and we saw some birds flying and thought, hey, maybe land must be close, and then we got off course. And now it appears that as we move forward, that there's some relief on the way. Now, who knows? You never know what's going to happen, right? We don't need another black swan event or anything like that. But let's talk about the pros of why right now you really might want to be considering getting out there. And number one, it's less competition, fewer buyers. Some folks can't move. Maybe folks with, kids, they want them to finish school. But what that means is if there's fewer kids, I'll take anybody on one-on-one. But what we're seeing, as we're talking about with rates, as rates are going down, as this competition comes up, it's only going to grow. So you're going to have less bidding wars now than you will in the so-called spring home buying season. So when you have less bidding wars, that's more negotiating power for you. That's getting the seller. That's getting the seller with some concessions. It's not trying to go in and undercut them on price, but that's being able to have good conversations. Hey, get them to pay your taxes and insurances. Get them to buy that rate down for you for a year at their cost. Live for free for that year, knowing you're going to refinance.
2 minutes.
Tax breaks. You close this year, hey, all that mortgage interest, that closing cost, all those things, you're able to write that off. So there's some deductions for you that you could take advantage of immediately. So get those, again, those closing concessions, less competition. And some really simple things, too, is, hey, this is after, because you know the top 10 commandments, don't go out and purchase anything. But after, hey, if you buy in the fall, now you're taking advantage of some year-end sales, right? Maybe get those appliances
1 minute.
cheaper. Maybe some of that furniture a little bit cheaper. Here's the key, Gumbo Nation, and keep going out and spreading the word. You're rock stars. But let's have a conversation. As your lender, let's discuss what your options are. Nobody understands more than me. What you can afford and what you're willing to pay is two different things. And that's what everybody says. Thank you for understanding that. I'm not here to
30.
spend your money. I'm here to help you save your money and make a good financial decision on your most valuable and largest investment, your home. I'm easy to find. Go to mortgagegumbo.com or snapsendandsave.com.
10.
Go out this week, Gumbo Nation, and spread the word. Till next week, keep stirring the pot.